Peace unto you, Israel. Peace unto you. Tav, and it's the X. Tav X. Tav meaning becoming one, purity. Ezekiel 37, the two houses, house of Judah and house of Israel becoming one. Hosea 8, Most High asked the question, is Israel capable of purity? That's why I say Tav. And in Babylonian Hebrew, that's the Phoenician Hebrew. In Babylonian, it's Tau, T-A-W. Same pictograph, the cross sticks. Not the pirate X flag or X marks the treasure spot. None of that. None of that. None of that. Well, young kid in the house, tall Bex, a new hop, tall Bex, purity becoming one. Got the two nooks on deck first. Yes, yes, yes. It's going to be a short one. Why they do what they do? We're going to give a couple minutes. We're only at a minute, 11 seconds. We're going to give a couple minutes, just 5 minutes. 5 minutes, we start, boom. Whether they come in, they not. You can watch it at another time. Ahie, Asher, Ahie, I am that I am, Exodus 3:14. Most High told, Moses told the Most High, well, what will I say to Pharaoh when I go back to him? And for the children of Israel, who sent me? He said, Ahie, Asher, Ahie. I am that, and you tell him I am sent you. I'm getting ready to give you the business if you don't let my people go. So, why they do what they do? I thought this would be a good lesson to give you guys. Oh, wait. I gotta get this thing back. Okay, here we go. I don't know why it switched. I didn't switch it. We need to know these things. We need to be reminded of certain things because, in life, there's so much stuff going on in the world. I know you guys know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. And, sometimes you could, be lax, forget, take it easy in my mind, get off track, forget who you are, forget who they are. And this is why this video. Why they doing it, they is the heathen Gentiles. Cry inside about the abominations in the midst of Israel, caused by them. They're the cause for most of it. Remember, they overdid the punishment. People like to, is this you, nigga? Or is this what? No. We got an arch enemy. Edom is hiding behind a curtain. He's a Negro. We don't see him. We see that getaway driver, that pale face. He's included. So, I'm just going to be saying a few things about between them and us. So, that's all today for this video. Hold on. Just hold on, we're at 4 minutes, 22 seconds, we're going to be starting. Okay, Okay. All right, I said we're starting at 5 minutes 10. It's going to be a small little class. Class is in session. Not really a couple numbers. The number is tiny. It's more smaller than you think. A lot of people ain't going to get it. A lot of people don't desire it. And they're going after these teachers that got other gods connected to their stuff, the camps and all that. It's a small unit that's going to love the Most High, worship Him and praise Him with undivided loyalty. There's only going to be a small, tiny percentage that is going to glory in the devotion towards the Most High. So, go Rick 8 in the house, Tav X, coming one in unity. Why they do what they do? One love, Tav X, coming one in purity. Why they do what they do? We starting right now. Exodus 11:7. Exodus 11:7. I'm going to take one verse out of that KJV because I like the way it sounds. It's fitting for this video. Why they do what they do. Exodus 11:7. In Exodus 11:7 it says, "But my dog shall snarl at any of the Israelites, a man or beast, in order that you may know that the Lord makes a distinction between Egypt and Israel." See, what the world don't want to accept is that the Creator, not a new Yeshua Israel, he on the island too, is making a distinction, a separation. One is different than the other. I'm not saying that. That's coming from the Creator that made the earth that you standing on, the air that you breathing, the water that you drinking, the fruits and food that you eating. He said he made a distinction between the Israelites and the Egyptians. And you can think, well, it's just the Egyptians. No, it's not. It's all the heathens. There's Israel and then there's everybody else. He set the boundary of the world by Israel. There's a distinction. Oh, that's not politically correct to say it's a distinction. But it's the word of the Creator that you say you believe in. The word of the Creator that most of the world has bought this book, read little glimpses of it, look up to it, say they love it. He said there's a distinction. But the world's going to say, oh, no, there's not. Everybody's the same. Well, everybody's the same. The why not 13 and 17, it says this. But all the nations are unto the Most High as a drop that falleth from a bucket, the small dust of the balance, considered a very little thing. All nations before him are as nothing, less than nothing, and vanity. Amos 3 says, out of all the things that are earth, only Israel has he known. Deuteronomy 7:6, he says, the Israelites are a holy people unto him. Exodus 19, they're a peculiar treasure unto him. Of course, you got to be keeping the commandments, but only them. Deuteronomy 10, he said, he had a delight in your fathers to love them, their seed after them. 2 Samuel chapter 7, he says, what one nation is like Israel in the whole earth? A people that redeemed. He didn't say redeemed everybody. Joel 2, he said he only dwells in Israel, and he's only their God. In Numbers 35:34, he said he only dwells among the children of Israel. Isaiah 45, he said, Jacob's my servant, and Israel's my elect. Israel's my saints. Psalm 148, he says, Israel is the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints. Israel, people he redeemed unto him. Psalm 55, he said, gather my saints together, those that made a covenant with me through sacrifice. Only people on this face of the earth from time past to right now that made a covenant by sacrifice with the Most High was Moses, the angel, and the Israelites, our foreparents. Not none of the other heathens. So when I read to you Exodus 11:7, for the Most High made a distinction between the Egyptians and the Israelites. It's talking in general because it's all, Most High changes not. There's a distinction. The distinction is there's the Israelites, his chosen people, his set apart people, his priestly nation of people. Once he makes them clean, then all the rest of the people on the earth. There's a distinction. I know that won't sit well with Not just the heathens, but a lot of yous. Because you got an affinity. You kind of want to be them. You want to scratch on your head, a pat on your head by them, a hug. You want to feel accepted by them. Why? They are classified as at the bottom. Rightfully so. Their actions show the Most High made them to be the belt to beat you, and to watch them to know what you should not do and how you should not live. There's a distinction. Proverbs 3:31, don't envy the oppressor. Do not envy a lawless man or choose any of his ways. You know the heathen Gentiles are the lawless ones. They don't live by law, they live by instinct like animals. That's what we call them, the beasts of the field. The devil that the Bible speaks of. Not because I want them to be. Just look at their actions. This is why I say, this is why they do what they do. You just turn on the internet. You know, a lot of people don't watch the news. The news is on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter, and Facebook, and all that. Look at all the racism they do towards the Negro, towards the people of the Most High, set apart people of the Most High. Look what they do. Look at all you Negro women going missing, into sex slaves, organ harvesting the organs of young Negro men, slavery, hanging. There's a lady just recently, look it up, in California. They ain't gonna tell what race she is. You know what race she is because you're dealing with a demon. She's hanging in a park, I think it's in California. Just look in the Midwest. Lady hanging and burning. They said it was a suicide. Look it up for yourself. Recently, the last couple of days or whatever, find a lady. They didn't say she was Negro or Caucasian or anything. You know, come on. They've been doing this a long time already. You just got a soft heart for them and say, oh, it's just anybody. Most likely, I could be wrong because they said he's burnt up. Some woman hanging in a park. Does that ring a bell? And then burning, they burnt. She hung herself and lit herself aflame. You're dealing with the devil. That's why it says, and then they tell you, stop making anything a racial thing. Oh, this and that. You're just lazy. That's why you don't got what we got: houses, cars, Vogels in our state thing, summer homes, trips, a lot of money, sending golf course memberships, and you don't got that because you don't work hard, you ain't like us, whatever. I'll read it to you. Psalm 73, but I'm going to read it in the KJV in Spanish. Okay, Psalm 73. Hold on. Psalm 73:8. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully. Who the hell is that? It reads better for this than the Psalms. Remember, this book is not good when they're reading, that's why I use it to not. Most of you know. I only like that verse. That's just one of the verses out of this whole KJV Bible. I use it to not. But it's on point. All the other verses that try to paint that fake JC guy in, that's when it goes off. Psalm 73:8 in the KJV. They, and you know who they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. Your oppression. Nothing happened to you. You're just lazy. You're just shiftless. You don't work hard like me. Yeah, okay. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully. We've made everything. We've done anything. You lied about everything. History and everything. Science, lied, everything. Everything. Don't believe nothing they say. Double check, triple check, quadruple check everything they say. Because everything that's going to fall off that tongue is a lie. They are corrupt. Am I exaggerating? No, I don't think so. Demons. You're right, young king. Demons. Now, I told you in Exodus 11:7, he made a distinction. You think that there's just a distinction in the love of the Most High. it drizzles downward. There's this distinction in the spiritual viewing of the Most High of the people of the earth. There's also physical body distinctions. We have selenium melanin. They have sulfuric melanin. We have different chemical makeup. That's why when you go to the doctor, they say, well, these are the levels, because they're basing it on Caucasian type people, pale people of the earth. You have a different type of chemistry. In the woman's vagina, the Negro, she has different cells, cytal cells in her vagina than a Caucasian and other Asian women. She has like that high, low God gene in her. So when you saw my video about the superwoman. We have different physiological chemical makeups than them inside. But they can consume these things that they consume on a physical level. We're not made for that. We're made to eat different, live different, talk different. This is why they do what they do. We're on a different frequency, spiritual frequency. This is why they do what they do. That's why they can go into school, a church, and shoot up the place like cowboys and Indians, and then go eat Burger King and make jokes like nothing. Why he did that? Oh shit, he did this, he blew up this whole thing over here, he did this, he did that. You wonder why. This is why I wrote why they do what they do. You're gonna see why they do what they do. But on a different scale that I'm gonna bring it out. The main function of the pineal gland is to receive and convey information about the current light and dark cycles from the environment, and consequently produce and secrete melatonin cyclically at night, the dark periods. The pineal gland was described as the seat of the soul and located in the center of the brain. The pineal gland primary function of letting light and darkness in. On a spiritual note, it is said that the pineal gland provides wisdom and insight, as well as deepen your spiritual connection to the Creator. Higher awareness and consciousness. It's regarded as the seat of the soul. So it has physical properties and functions, and then on a spiritual level, it's considered like the seat of the soul. But guess what? The Caucasian, that includes the Asians, the Arabs, the fake Jewish people, and all the other people on the earth outside of the Israelites, the Caucasian pineal gland is calcified. Now you know why they do what they do. Why they so heartless. Why they so heartless. All their acts towards you. Now you ain't getting no reparation. Everything's on even playing field. Yeah, you just inherited all those ranches with 1 billion heads of cattle. All that land, which land is money, and the houses. Niggas got nothing. We didn't get 40 acres in the land, 40 acres and some land. We didn't get anything. You're heartless. You're corrupted. They speak wickedly about oppression. Leviticus 22:8. Leviticus 22:8. Tav X Shark Tank. Leviticus 22:8. He shall not eat anything that died or was torn by beasts, therefore becoming unclean. I am the Lord. Deuteronomy 14:21. You shall not eat anything that has died a natural death. Give it to the stranger in the community to eat, or you may sell it to the foreigner. I told you we're not the same. Exodus 11:7. The Most High put a distinction, a separation between the Israelites and the Egyptians. And the Egyptians, really, you can classify as all the heathens in an overall sense. Because when you read Isaiah 40, verse 15 and 17, he says all the other nations are as vanity, nothing to him. Deuteronomy 32, he set the bounds by the Israelites. Leviticus 20, he severed us from them. We're on a distinct people on a spiritual level and on a physical level. For you are people consecrated to the Most High. You think it's racism because I said that. I didn't say it. It's in your Bible, sitting on your shelf, have 2 tons of dust on it. It's not racist words. It's words that you can't accept. You can't accept the truth. And that's what's going on. You can't accept the truth. Melanin, the pineal gland, is on a physical anatomy, physiological level. So on a physical level, we're different. On a spiritual level, we're different. You can't accept that. Oh no, Walter, you have a Tower of Babel mindset. You haven't released Christianity out of your mind. You can't accept the truth. Exodus 11, right in the Lord said he made a distinction. And you know, the Egyptians are the main people on the earth at that time. Well, who's the main people on the earth today? We're different from them, spiritually and physically. You need to know that. That's why you shouldn't be walking with your head down. Oh, they're better. No, they're not. He made them to be a belt to beat you because you don't want to keep the law. Like he said in Hosea 8, is there purity in Israel? After you keep reading, he says, I guess not. You go back to Egypt. You go back to slavery because you're not pure. That's why here at Hebrew Island, I say, so you could say it's shalom, peace, and love. We don't need peace right now. We need purity to be looked at and viewed to the Most High as pure. That's why I say Tav X. That's why I say Tav X. Purity becoming one. Now I'm going to read this article. Bring up a little science today. After I read this article, we will be done. Act star, you missed. Tav X. When I upload it after I read this article, watch what you missed. It's not going to be a long one. This article is from the Patriot newsletter. It's called The Science Behind Blackness, Part 3. The Science Behind Blackness, Part 3. I'm going to read it to you. You can read it on your own at another time. So you're not adding anything, saying anything. The Eurocentrists have time and time again tried to teach that the emergence of the new race, white, from the old black, is an evolution. To evolve is to improve with time and growth. Let me read that again. Let this seep into your head. The Eurocentrists, that means the European ones, and they're not getting even more specific. The first Europeans are Negro types. The Johnny-come-lately, the post-Columbus Europeans are the Caucasian types. Okay, but anyway, the Eurocentrists have time and again tried to teach the emergence of the new race, the white race, from the old black is evolution, saying that they're better. To evolve is to improve with time and growth. Was the black man lacking a more dominant gene for him to be called inferior? According to science, this is not so. We will first have to understand how melanin is made in our bodies. Compounds and hormones are made in glands. The pineal gland, which is black because of carbon-based molecules called melanin, is behind the production of melanin. Eumelanin is found in blacks of Africa and manifests in black and brown colors. It is found on our skins, and the skin is the largest organ on the human body. Inside the skin cells are melanocytes. Inside, and forgive me for butchering some of the words, but you'll get it. Read the article. Inside the melanocyte, melanin synthesizes. The synthesis begins with the predecessor of triosine called phenylalanine. Sorry, phenylalanine. You read the article, you read it. It becomes triosin after a hydrogen-based reaction. Triosin is an amino acid or protein, and as we shall find out, is central in causing eumelanin to have a dark hue. The triosin is turned into dopa after a triosin-based reaction. Dopa is a predecessor of dopamine, a neurotransmitter that governs the human's reward circuits. It is the feel-good vibe that one gets after he accomplishes something. This can also be found in certain psychoactive plants which have been appropriately nicknamed dope. Again, a triosin-based reaction turns dope to dopaquinone, and this is the branch point between eumelanin and phenomelanin. From this point on, the people who possess pheno, that's PHEO, phenomelanin are void of triosin and triosin-based reactions. This causes them to become pale, and the same science behind white skin is behind albinism, a lack of triosin in the DNA. Triosin is spelled Tyrosine. As for blacks, even though we're not black, but that's what they call us. Where did I left off? As for blacks, dopaquinone is converted to dopachrome, again by a triosin-based reaction, another branch point taking place at this point. This is between the black and blue and the brown shades that blacks possess in Africa. The blue-black complexion is attributed to a neoenzymic reaction to dopachrome. Tentadarase, which produces a predecessor to eumelanin called 5,6-dihydroxydol. The brown complexion is attributed to enzymic reaction to the same catalyst which produces 5,6-dihydroindole carboxylic acid. Sorry for the butchery. So the presence of carboxylic acid is behind the brown eumelanin, and the absence of it is behind the black and blue. Once again, a triosin-based reaction takes place, so does the polymerization. It's called the multiplication, and this produces the dark hue in our skin called eumelanin. Eumelanin's main role is to protect the underlying DNA from damage and mutation. Without it, humans are prone to UV-caused cancer, ultraviolet, for example. So if a lack of triosin is the cause of whiteness, if the lack of triosin is cause of whiteness, why would whites be classified as evolved? Listen, there's a distinction in the spiritual and the physical. They think they're more involved, more better. But we just read the science, they're not. You are. Keep your head up. You are different. Because they are lacking, they evidently devolve from their archetype. Another attribute that causes whiteness is the presence of sulfur in the DNA. Though sulfur is necessary for protein synthesis, it is the healthiest at a minimum for its toxic. In blacks of Africa, their sulfur content is extremely low, around 0 to 1%. It is higher in non-blacks and highest in Caucasian whites, around 9 to 12%. Sulfur is white, and sulfur-rich stones such as brimstones testify to. What is connected to brimstone? I'll tell you, hell. Hell is shit. They're the devil that the Bible speaks of, I'm telling you. The science reveals them. Brimstones. Could you imagine that? Sulfur itself is toxic to the body, and having a high amount of it can lead to devastating reactions while the body interacts with the environment, particularly the sun. That's why they get skin cancer. They're not involved. They are devolved. Don't let them, we're better. Show them the video. Let them read the article from the Patriot. Sulfur itself is toxic to the body. Having a high amount of it can lead to devastating reaction while the body interacts with the environment, particularly the sun. Because blacks have low sulfur and high triosin, they have dark hue skins because the whites take up the color of the high sulfur in the phenolmelanin, PHEO-MELANIN, or have no or minimal triosins. They are pale of skin. That's why they don't have triosins, they're pale. That's why they don't have selenium, sulfur, that they're pale. They have that sulfur, brimstone stuff, Fred Flintstone stuff. DNA through the digestive tract, because the amount of triosin and the melanocytes produced already passed through from our ancestors and parents through reproduction. This is why black women who bleach their skin cannot stop their offspring from being born with the original dark hue of skin. Only mutations in the form of vitiligo or albinism can cause one to lose what is in the DNA. Climatic adaptations, such as a black man leaving Africa, we know that Africans are different Negro. There's different dark race people. But it says climatic adaptations, such as a black man leaving the African sun for thousands of years, causing a decrease in vitamin D and other things, only affect the DNA to a small extent and very gradual. The pineal gland and melanin connection is evident in that it has been found that blacks seem to have full pineal gland and Caucasians white calcified ones. That's science. This is why they do what they do. This is why they keep the sun and the nature doesn't react to them in a positive sense. This is why they do what they do. The healthy ones resemble a grape and the calcified as a raisin. White scholars used to teach and honestly thought that the pineal gland was a vestige of the human race evolutionary past because they found theirs to be calcified. This was until bodies of black American soldiers were found to have full pineal glands during the Vietnam-U.S. War. There seems therefore to be a link between the state of the pineal gland and the skin color of humans. After all, the pineal gland is the seed of mankind. It is the first organ to appear in the womb. Finally, the pineal gland, the DNA, which is half from the father and half from the mother, is decoded and kickstarts the protein synthesis, and the cells are multiplied into trillions to form the rest of the human body. Now, it is important that we understand the role that human melanin plays in our body. We have already seen how the pineal gland is dark because of the presence of carbon-based compounds known as i.s.u.p.k. Because it has plenty carbon, i.s.u.p.k takes on the role of properties of carbon. The pineal gland is surrounded by the brain, which is made mostly of copper. The oscillatory properties of carbon and copper cause resonance and gives the body an electrical charge. Electricity can only be produced in an alkaline environment. That is why the carbon in battery cells have the potential hydrogen pH level of 14. If one goes to an electrical plant, one will find carbon and copper to be instrumental in producing and conducting electricity. The brain is no different. On our skin, i.s.u.p.k is a semiconductor of electrical energy. When heated, the skin of the EU melanin becomes superconductor. Okay? Heating can be achieved through sunbathing, meditation, eating phytoactive herbs, and exercise. Melanin does not allow electrical energy to escape. It but converts it to more useful forms. The black color, it assumes, shows that no energy is being lost. The black color shows that no energy is being lost. Like carbon, EU melanin absorbs sound energy, converts it to light energy. In humans, this oscillation capacity of EU melanin is evident in all the biophysical process undergone by Negro people. For example, black athletes are known to run faster, jump higher, move quicker than any other race. For example, black athletes are known to run faster, jump higher, move quicker than any other race. Before Usain Bolt became the fastest man on earth, there was another black man who held that title. The same goes for boxers and many other fields of sports besides swimming, skating, which blacks are hardly exposed to. The NBA, the NFL are dominated by black players simply because they are, on average, better than any other race at moving and propelling their bodies into the air. This is largely owed to the function of EU melanin, which boosts their body's electrical charge and energy. EU melanin also governs what the body does when dehydrated. Hydrogen works as a fuel for the carbon-based compounds, and together with the sun's energy, the body becomes a factory of power which can be channeled into several activities. Thus, it is important for people to drink water. I drink fruit water. This is important for people to drink water. Whites are not exempt to this because they also have melanin inside their body besides the phenomelanin in their skin. The melanin craves sun, water because such are the properties of carbon. Hopefully this was edifying. I know it could have been a little boring because it's exciting, but you need to know this. There is a distinction on a spiritual level and on a physical level. Hopefully this was edifying to you guys. Keep your heads up. There is a distinction between us and them. They said they have evolved. They came from us or whatever, but they have evolved. No, they haven't. They have devolved. They are in the negative category. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. Let me read these things and we'll call it quits. Hopefully this was a little edifying and uplifting to you. Let me give a shout out to everybody in the room. Tavex, to Young King and Noah, Ron Love, Gloric 8, and Shark Tank, Ackstar Music. That's about it. Deuteronomy 32:21, because we made him jealous. Yep, Shark Tank. That's the only thing that's going on. You're walking around. No. You are a devolved human unit upon the earth, heathen. I just read it scientifically to you. You are devolved. Not evolved, devolved. Your genes are down, devolved. Your genes are recessive. And it trickles down to everything else. And that is why, that pineal gland in your head is calcified. When you look at Negroes, they're not calcified. If you only ate correct and got rid of all that dead meat in your life and all this other bad processed food and stuff, your mind will be clearer. You will connect to the Most High. You will connect to His Word even more energized. But that's why they feed you that bad food. That's why you have an animalistic desire for craving of meats, which is acidic. It makes your body like that. They're going to tell you that. They want your pineal gland calcified like theirs. That's why you got all those fast foods in your restaurants, in your little cities. That's why you got Chinese restaurants on all your corners and all the liquor stores. Fast foods, processed foods, they put it up to you every second of the day. They want because they can't understand why your pineal gland is not calcified and theirs is, because they are a devolved human. That's why. That ain't racist. That's just science. When you research the pineal gland, melanin, you see that we are chemically different. We are chemically, spiritually superior to them. We are connected to the Most High if you're fearing Him and keeping His commandments. Get your head up. Stop eating all that bad food. Let me give you an example of food, and I'll let you go over here. Just look at the teeth of all the carnivores. Those are the tigers, lions, bears, and all that stuff. Then the omnivores, well, the bears are the omnivores. They eat meat and wolverines and honey badgers and all those other things that eat. They don't just eat meat. They tear meat. They eat meat, and they eat plants and vitamin, plants and herbs and berries and that fruit and all that stuff. Then you have the herbivores. They just eat grass and hay and stuff like that. Then you have the frutivores, which are like the primates. They eat fruits and stuff. But you got some primates. The gorillas just eat fruits and stuff like that. But the chimps, they kill other monkey, kill other animals and stuff, eat them. But they basically eat fruits and nuts and stuff like that. Look at your teeth. So the teeth of the carnivores, the canines and them little things, they're just for ripping and tearing flesh. Omnivores, their teeth, fangs, and all just to rip, tear flesh, but they can also eat. Like the herbivores, they just have like molar type teeth to grind stuff because that hay and stuff and plants got a lot of cellulose. It's hard to break down. They got a whole bunch of stomachs to break that process down. Frugivores got stomachs similar to us, which are like primates. Not made to eat meat. Meat is acidic. This is why you die and you get sick. They are corrupt. They're going to lie to you. Do you think they know who you are? You think they want you healthy? They're going to push everything bad. They're going to tell you everything bad. You guys are already addicted to all this meat and stuff like that. They want that pineal gland to stay calcified. They ain't going to tell you the secret. They know the secret. They ain't going to tell it to you. Keep going to Dunkin' Donuts and Pizza Hut and Applebee's and Taco Bell and Olive Garden and eating all this food that they eat. Remember, they're devolved. You're evolved. You're in the spiritual realm. They'll never get there. The pineal gland is cut. So now you know why they do what they do. That's why I titled it that way. Oh, he went in there and killed all the people in the church. He went in the supermarket and killed everybody. And then when he saw a Caucasian guy, he said, "Ooh, sorry," and started spraying all the Negro types. Why he's in the parade blowing himself up and stuff like that to blow other people up. Why he doing all? Why he drinking adrenochrome and eating flesh of babies and all that stuff like that? Why do he do that? Why are they enslaving all the people? Because they are corrupt. Their sensitivities are shut off by that calcified pineal gland. Open this up. Change the way you think. Change the way you eat. Change the way you worship the Most High. If you're not worshiping the Most High with an undivided loyalty like Joshua, if you don't have a devotion, glory in your devotion to the Most High, and you got 2 feet down, 10 toes, 2 feet in and 10 toes down, you have no excuse. Your pineal gland is not calcified. And some of your pineal glands may be calcified because of your diet, your lifestyle. Most I told you how to eat, what to do, but you want to live like this. You don't realize that there's a distinction between them and you. He told me in Exodus 11, he made a distinction between the Egyptians and the Israelites. And think about it, it's Exodus. That's the second book of the scripture. Scripture is only Genesis to Malachi. New Testament is fake, and that fake JC guy is fake. All that's fake. The second book is telling you Egypt was the world, the prominence of the world. That's a Photoshop of the important people of the world. Well, what's the people that are the prominent of the world, who considered the best and on top? America, Europe, and those type of first world countries. That's like a photo of Egypt. That's why he said, go back to Egypt. Egypt is like Babylon. They teach the world to be lawless. Don't follow them. Stop following them. Hopefully this was edifying. This is the new Yeshua in Israel. People on the island too. Hopefully, I brought a different twist. I brought a science twist today. Hopefully this was edifying. Until next time. Tav X.